Hi everyone, my name is Lori Austin. I will be your professor for this course for the next 6 weeks. I just kind of wanted to welcome you to the course and to give you a little brief introduction of myself and everything that is on Canvas and what our course is going to look like. I've been a professor in the Math and Computer Science department for 12 years now at Raritan Valley Community College, and prior to that I worked in high school teaching math for about 10 years. And I also serve as chair of the Math and Computer Science department. So one of the things I ask is all the emails you want to send me and everything, all the questions, please do it through Canvas. I get so many other emails. I certainly never want yours to get lost. My classes are my priority over the next 6 weeks, and I really look forward to working with you. I'm going to switch over to our course now and go through a couple things. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to click on what you would see, which is the student view. So when you first open up our statistics course, it takes you to the home page. The home page just kind of gives you a brief overview of what these tabs on the left-hand side represent. You have modules, your grade book's going to be there, announcements. I do a lot of things through announcements. You'll get announcements from me regularly. If you have the app on your phone and you want to make sure you get the announcements, because a lot of those announcements will be reminders about tests and different things coming up, or a change in date or something like that. You can always set your notification settings so that you receive the announcements. What you probably don't want to do is put in your notification settings that you get every change to the course, because I'm always making changes, always updating grades, and then you'll get way too many notifications. So you might want to play around with that a little bit if you choose to. You can see who else is in your course. You have, there's some conference features, and I have other ways that we can set up virtual office hours if need be. The syllabus button here is not our course syllabus. It's more of a listing in order of everything that's due in the course. And then of course our My Labs and Mastering, which I'll get to in a minute. It also, you'll see your to-do list is quite long, is getting long, because it's going to give you everything that's due in the next week. Keep in mind, this is a 6-week course. It's a lot of material to cover in 6 weeks, but I think stats is very, very doable in a 6-week time period. If you just take it week by week, so the first thing I want you to do is click on modules when you get into the course. And the first thing you will see is this video that I'm currently making, that of course is not there yet, but it will be there. So you've already clicked, you've already gotten in, you started watching it. But when you scroll down, then you'll see that I have everything set up for the week. So if you say, okay, here's week 1, I need to go through this list and get all of this done for week 1 by Sunday night, you're going to be in great shape. And then at week 2, everything that needs to be done in week 2. The way the modules are set is, this is just some quick information. You have notes. I'm going to be putting in videos along the way. I'm going to try to get those videos done before the week starts, but sometimes they'll get put up there like Monday or Tuesday. I have a lot of people in my house, and I have to find a time when it's quiet to make the videos. Okay, so quizzes. These quizzes here are all through MathLab, which again we'll go over in a minute. The homework is through MathLab. My stat lab, it's also called my stat lab. But then there are test reviews, and see this little symbol that indicates a test in Canvas. So your Canvas test will show up here. The date will be on the syllabus. I'll show you where you can print that out in a second. And you will have a 2-day period to take your test. Once you open a test, you get 2.5 hours. You don't need 2.5 hours. In a classroom setting, this test you will get 90 minutes for. So the 2.5 hours is for you to take the test and leave yourself enough time to upload your work, because you must upload the work for the test, and we'll go over that when it's time to take the test. So if you come up to the top here, you really should, after you watch the video, of course, click on the syllabus. This is something you might want to print. You don't necessarily, if you don't want to print the whole thing, that's fine. But you might want to print the schedule at the end. So this also will give you a recap of everything. This is everything that's in those modules. So week 1, here's the sections in the book that we're going to go over, your forum post, your My Stat Lab homework, My Stat Lab quizzes. Then you can see in week 2, there's a test in there. So this is just a snapshot of everything you have to do over the 6-week period. But let's go to the top of the syllabus for a second. And we have all of my information. Of course, the office is, I will not be on campus. None of us are. So I will only be home. So yeah, don't leave a message either. Just email me. But again, I'm going to request, this is my RVCC email, but Canvas email is much, much better. And I'll show you where that is. So our book, what we are going to use is the My Stat Lab. For the My Stat Lab access code, I'll show you where you can just purchase it the first time you're going on. I want to say it's like $79. But that gets you your entire textbook, and it gets you access to all the homework, and it gets you access to a statistical software program called StatCrunch that I'll introduce you to a little bit throughout this course. We use it more in Stat 2 than Stat 1. Now, 18 weeks. If you are planning on taking Statistics 2, an 18-week access code will get you through Stat 1 and Stat 2 if you're taking Stat 2 this summer. So if you want to take Stat 2, you can follow up in the second half of the semester. And then you only need to buy this once. It'll also work in your Stat 2 course. If you plan on taking Stat 2 at RVCC but not till fall, that 18 weeks isn't going to work for you. So you can choose to pay 18 weeks now and 18 weeks when you take it, or choose to pay the longer one, which is a little bit more. It's probably like 130. I don't know that you get that much of a discount. I don't know. You'll see the pricing when you log on. The My Stat Lab access code is unique to this textbook. So if you used it, say, in an algebra course, that was for that textbook. You will need to purchase. There is no generic access code. There's also no course ID. I will show you how to get on to My Stat Lab through the Canvas course. Calculator, you need, minimum of a scientific's fine. Graphing, if you have a graphing, there might be times where I show you how to use different statistical functions on it, but it is not necessary at all. Just to kind of look at a couple things, you can read through this. I suggest you read through the whole syllabus. This is a 3-credit course, so you're going to spend over those 6 weeks about 20 hours per week, depending on how quickly you understand things. Our grading system. So the forum post, there's our discussion post. The discussion post just kind of proved to me that you opened up that textbook and read the notes or read parts of the textbook. They're more general. They're not very mathematical questions. They're more general questions. The Stat Lab homework is worth 10%. The Stat Lab quizzes are worth 10%. Now, interesting, the homework, you will be able to, there's a due date. I put those due dates in for a reason, but you'll be able to access your homework after the due date, and you'll be able to improve your score, but not the quizzes. The quizzes have set due dates. I will not extend them. What I will do is drop the 3 lowest ones. So if you miss one on a Sunday night, just say to yourself, okay, that 0 will be one of the quizzes that gets dropped. But the homework you can access. There will be 3 tests. They'll all be in Canvas. Again, we'll talk more about the tests when we get to our first one in about a week and a half. And then the final exam will be in Canvas as well. Here is the breakdown of the grades. Please note, if you took courses at RVCC in the spring, we had a pass no credit option, but that was because of the circumstances of the spring semester. While we are still under quarantine, and we're not on campus, you have signed up knowingly for an online course. So these are the grades that will be. If you fail the course this time, you will actually get an F, not an NC. To move on to Stat 2, you do need to pass with a C. These are funny little things in college because while they will give you credit for the course and they will allow you to graduate RVCC, a couple things about D's: you can't transfer with them, and you certainly cannot move on to the next level course with them. So yeah, just don't plan on getting a D. Forum post. So again, these are going to come from, did you read the opening? Statistics is a little bit of a different type of math if you've never taken it before. It is more informational than numerical as compared to other math courses. So reading the textbook is actually very helpful. Homework, I talked about that, quizzes, test, final exam. Uploading documents, this is really important. JPEG, docx, or PDF files only. A lot of students who are on Macs like to send me HEIC files. I have tried my best. There is no way I can open those files. So you got to convert them to a PDF. I also am going to strongly suggest that you figure out ahead of time how to upload multiple pages in one document. It's very difficult to grade a test when I have 7 different files I need to open up because you put one on each page. So if you don't have a scanner at home that lets you do that and you're doing it from your phone, there are some great apps, Genius Scan and Scanner Pro. These are free. They will save PDFs for uploading, and they will actually allow you to do multiple pages. So again, you don't want to be stuck trying to figure this out when you're taking your first test and there's a timer set to when that test closes. And I really need you to send me the test work in the test, not in an email after the fact. So play around with getting to the point where you can upload a few pages into one document, because it'll make it a lot easier when you take your test. Obviously online, you're going to be respectful. Okay. And just keep focused on the course itself. I do not set office hours in the summer courses for the main reason that I tend to sit there for an hour and nobody shows up. If you are struggling, I will start making some, again, very detailed videos. If you're struggling on anything at any point, reach out to me. We can certainly set up a time and place and have a virtual office hour where I can have the screen open and I can work some problems out for you. Or if everyone's confused on a particular concept, I can make a video doing an additional problem for that concept. So definitely reach out to me if you have any issues anywhere where you're not understanding something. And if you'd have accommodations, please get me those accommodations in an email. So violations of academic integrity, I understand you're taking the course at home. And, this past semester was very challenging because when tests are taken at home, what are some blatant, everything's open book at this point, but what are some blatant violations of academic integrity? So we've had instances where students turned in someone else's sheet, like for a test. Someone decided to share all their work and the same exact work. That is a clear violation of academic integrity. I ask, this is why we have the uploaded work, that it's your work, you worked it out. You've got to show the work for all the problems. That tells me you did it, okay? So just be careful of that. And again, there's our schedule. So let me scoot out of here. And let's talk MyMathLab for a second. Here's the document that's going to help you. You need to get into MyLab and Mastering from here. You open this document, it has clear instructions on how to register for our course. We're in Canvas. So you've got one of two things. This is the Pearson link they're talking about, MyLab and Mastering. Or you can just go into modules and try to open one of the homework assignments. If you have a Pearson account and you've used MyMathLab in, say, an algebra course or another course, you can enter your username or password. If not, you have to create an account. It's just going to take you a couple minutes entering your information. Now, the access code. The access code is something that you can actually purchase from the bookstore. It's not going to be the 70 some dollars at the bookstore. They're going to put a markup on it. Or you can purchase with a credit card or PayPal as you're registering for the first time. That's going to get you the least expensive price. You can try Amazon. Some students can get the access codes off Amazon, but you have to be very careful. It needs to be the 10E edition of the Weiss book. And if you accidentally get the wrong one, then you just paid for something that's not going to work. You get temporary access. Everybody can sign on right away with temporary access for a couple days. Okay? So, when you click here, I'll show you what the MathLab course looks like. After you've signed up, and yours is going to look a little different at first, but after you've signed up and done everything, you can then just simply open. I'm not going to be able to open because I'm on as a student right now. I'm not sure it's going to let me. Let me see. Yeah, it's not going to let me because, again, I'm on as a student. So let me click out of student view for a second. Leave student view. And then I can show you how MathLab looks. So you have two options when working with MathLab. And again, this is going to be all of your video, not your videos, I'm sorry. It's going to be all of your homework and your quizzes. So once you get everything set up, you can just go right into the homework here. And it will open up directly within Canvas. See, okay, homework 1's really short. Chapter 1 is really short. It's just an informational chapter. Click on a question and you can complete it right here. But notice it's really small. It's got this little tiny screen. All right, so if I go into the link and open my Lab and Mastering, then I can click Assignments, and there's that same homework. There's that same question too. And students like this because they can make it the full screen, okay? So either way works, it's not going to matter. Everything you do in here will be your grades for your homework will be imported into Canvas automatically. You don't need to worry about that. Don't worry about this student gradebook. This is only going to be your quizzes and homework. It's not going to have any other information in it. StatCrunch is something I'll send a video out at a time during the course, probably more towards the end. But here's your textbook. All right, so you go to chapter 1, do homework. This is not the homework for the course. These are just practice problems that you can do. View, or that is probably the homework for the book, but let's view the chapter opener. My internet is not the best, so. I live on top of a mountain in Warren County, so we don't always have the best internet. Okay. So here's your textbook. And some students who have iPads or something like that, they like to put it on the iPad. It makes it nice and easy to read. And you have everything here. You can come here and you can go to any part of your textbook. There are some other, if you go to the video and resource library, let's see what we have. And you pick a chapter. Let's look at chapter 2 this time. You can choose all, select everything you want. This gives you, so maybe you're just interested in organizing quantitative data. You're struggling, you're not getting it. You can click every possible resource and it'll give you every possible resource for organizing quantitative data. There's not much for that because that's really not much. But if you go to one of the later chapters, maybe with descriptive measures, let's do measures of variation. Yeah, you get these applets and these animations. So if standard deviation is something you're struggling with, you can come here and there'll be like a little video to help you. So that's available too within the actual, you're not going to be able to access that in Canvas, but you can come over to the My Lab and Mastering and you can access it here. All right, and that's again through this particular link. So I think that gives us a good little overview. This is like 20 minutes. I don't know if you sat and listened to this whole thing for 20 minutes, but that gives you a nice little overview of our course. And if you have any questions or anything, our formula card is here. You are going to want to print that out. Don't be over. I think I've limited the formula card to only the pages that you need for this course, but this is going to come in handy as we go through the course, this formula card. Okay. All right. I will see you in Canvas.